Strikers! We're about to present patch 2.3, so buckle up because we've got a couple tricks up our sleeves. Someone has been causing havoc all over AHTEN with their hijinks. It's probably the same person that interrupted the Pro League finals.
I can't imagine that that's actually going to be the strategy moving forward. What was that, Saya?
Probably doesn't have anything to do with us. Let's move on to game 2, you know?
We'll be working together to accumulate 300,000 points to find the culprit behind these pranks. Quick play games grant 1 point, normal and ranked mode will net you 3, and the new mode, High Tea Hijinks, will pour out a generous 10 points. Full of fantastic freedom, the maps on High Tea Hijinks have been finessed, flipped, and boba-fied. There will be 4 maps based off of different bubble tea flavors. We hope you find them as delicious as we do as strikers battle it out in insane new environments in a first to 3 frantic showdown. All strikers playing on these maps will have their own hijinks buff, which grants them extra stats. Everyone loves skins, right? We brewed up some delicious new Juno flavors for Cafe Juno. Do not eat her! Taro, matcha, milk tea, and pumpkin can be found at your local shop, as well as this awesome Gamer Juliet skin. We've also made some in-game changes as well as features. The strike shot indicator for mobile and console have been updated. Emote meeting has finally been implemented. Check it out on the scoreboard. Voiceover logic has been updated. Strikers will now more frequently play their voiceover to allies and enemies when using their specials. Octavia and Rune in particular will always play their voiceover to help assist for counterplay purposes. Some news for the competitive players. We've added a rank decay system for Challenger and above. You can bank up some days depending on your rank, and you'll decay LP per day if you don't have any days banked. You'll lose previously banked days when you promote, so please be wary. We are also adding central servers to North America for games at or above Challenger. At the high end of the ranked ladder, players can have trouble finding high-quality, low-latency matches. We're well aware of the effect latency has on Omega Strikers. Unfortunately, we can't roll these central servers to all players in North America, but we wanted to give this option to the highest level of competition so games aren't decided by which server a player ends up on. We will be experimenting and testing the rules to make sure it is better for players. Be sure to visit the ranked rules section of the Discord to get a role if you're higher up on the ladder. You'll be alerted quicker if we make any adjustments. Okay, on to some character adjustments. Atlas is returning to his lab to soup up his projection. He's been a tiny bit behind other meta goalies, so we're giving him some more aggressive options. Jakar has been a high MMR staple for a while and has made good tournament showings too. He cloaked away from nerfs last patch, but can't escape our aim this time. Sibling buffs. Atlas didn't want to leave his sister in the dust, so he tinkered with her gear too. Hopefully now when she takes the ultimate risk of launching herself at an enemy, it'll pay off. The pendulum has finally swung the other way. After bribing his way into numerous buffs, Rasmus then had the audacity to show off at the tournament stage. He flaunted his cooldown advantages and consistency. We're pulling this haughty striker back in line. X can still make a game all about himself when he gets the right awakenings, so we're treading lightly and letting him stampede over enemies slightly more. Infinite awakenings are gone. We found that the negatives outweighed the purpose it served, which was a safety measure to ensure that players had a higher chance of grabbing a usable awakening. We want players who succeed in a draft to always feel like their success matters, which failed too often when the best choice was an infinite awakening. Additionally, strategies could become too easy to shut down via Infinite Unstoppable for instance, or too overbearing like Infinite Stinger. While we want awakenings to change the experience of the game, the shared choices should only be presented at the beginning of the game so you can plan around them with your picks and bans. I guess I didn't eat all the bugs last time. Oops. We caught some more. Fire Up will no longer grant double energy at the start of a round under some circumstances. Rune's secondary Shadow Swap will now work in practice mode. Certain abilities will no longer bring the core to a halt when using a gamepad. Knockbacks that knock you directly away from a KO zone will no longer knock your striker out. This was most relevant to the iMuse app map. Cast no longer appears as having no effect for Vice in the Awakening draft. Eject button now works with Octavia's secondary. Vice Special no longer casts on release if you attempt to cast any other abilities during the channel. Players will no longer consistently go into loading screen and get kicked back to the main menu. Phew, that's a lot of bugs. Hopefully we caught most of them this time. Alright, that concludes the show. See you on the next episode of Court Chat! Players will no longer consistently go into loading screen and get pit by Erasmus.